Hello, friends. Welcome back to Shadow Play Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make yourselves at home. And if you are returning, well, friends, you already know how I feel about you. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you for coming back and spending more of your time with me here on my channel. All right, friends. And as always, if you like the content that I'm putting out there, if you resonate with this reading, go ahead and give it a little thumbs up for me, so that I know I am connecting with you and you like what you're seeing. I can continue to provide more readings like this. And when you subscribe, it does allow me to pick up on your energy a lot easier for future readings. All right, so let's get to it, friends. Today I felt called to do this reading for my hustlers out there, my people out there that are just trekking along. You have a dream, you have a passion. Maybe you already got started on it, maybe you haven't. Maybe you're a small business owner who's still working a full time job. Maybe your full time job is sucking the life out of you, and it's this thing on the side that you have going on that you really want to see flourish and grow. Maybe you need encouragement along the way, a different perspective, some advice. We're just going to dive in and see what comes through. You obviously don't have to be a small business owner or have a side hustle. This is just for those of you who feel this passion within you that's just waiting to come out and grow and evolve. And it does require your energy. So if you're feeling fear or anxiety, or maybe it's excitement as well, whatever it is you're currently going through, it's all part of the process. And yeah, I really felt called to get this reading out there today for some reason. So if this reading finds you and it resonates, then it was meant for you. It is a collective reading. Not all the messages will resonate, but here is hoping that you get the messages that you most need right now to help you on your journey, to help you expand, to help you grow, and to give you the confidence and the guidance if you need it. All right, let's begin. Thank you, Spirit, for allowing me to channel these messages today for the collective. For my collective, please. What do they need to know, please, about this side hustle, this thought, this idea, this passion that they have within them? What do they most need to know right now to help them along their journey, to help them grow and expand, to have the courage to keep going during these interesting times we're living in? Calling on our angels today. We're going to be starting off with tarot and moving into oracle cards. I'll do a little charm reading as well for us at the end. Thank you, Spirit. All right. Okay, so first of all, your guides, angels, spirit, whatever you want to call this beautiful source that we have here that wants to help us through, they want to remind you that you've been through a lot, my collective. You have been through situations that were heartbreaking, disappointing. You've had loss along the way. You've had to show up. You've had to show up in your life for people, for your job, for your responsibilities. You continue to show up, but first they want to start by acknowledging what you've already been through, and what you're maybe even still healing from. I do feel a lot of you are starting to get past some type of emotional feeling of emotionally lost, or maybe it was a loss. I was going to say lost, but yeah, there's an acknowledgement, because that has really, there are situations that happen beyond your control. And these things that happened in your life or around you or affected you, it's not like you could just get away from those things. It's not like, basically, it's not like you had those things working for you. You could even see it as something happened and it derailed you, or emotionally you just weren't ready to kind of expand in this way that I know you want to. And I see your excitement. A lot of you have a great idea. It stems from your creativity. Even if you don't consider yourself a creative person, the way that you're thinking. And creative doesn't just have to be artistic, by the way. Creative means you're someone who just continuously thinks outside the box, regardless of what your current circumstances are, what your career path is, what jobs you've had in the past. Maybe you haven't had a career and you've been someone who's maybe worked in the service industry or in any kind of industry. Maybe you ended up there and you ended up kind of staying in that realm for a while. Like that doesn't affect how your energy is showing up for what you want in the future and what I feel like you guys are moving towards. There's a lot of excitement here. There's a lot of passion, and there isn't a level of like, I don't feel like it's fully matured, basically. I feel like you guys are still learning along the way. There's a level of like being excited. And I feel like you have some fun ideas. This is the stuff that like feeds your soul. This Ace of Cups, it's a new emotional beginning. I feel like this is where you kind of get your energy from. Even if your outside influences your work, if you still, like we said, everyone's going to be different, but maybe if you fall into the group that's working a job that doesn't fully emotionally satisfy you, but it offers you stability in other ways, um, it just feels like this is what feeds your soul. It's through your creativity. A lot of you could be ready to make a move. Um, you guys could be doing that in maybe you're learning. I am getting a feeling that some of you are maybe like watching videos online. This could even be something like TikTok. Like, who hasn't learned something useful off of TikTok? It's funny to say that, but it's kind of the truth, because this information that I feel you're getting, it comes, I feel like it's online or it's through communication. I feel like it's things you're looking up. So there's a really big like learner's mentality going on. Maybe some of you could even be creating content and that's what makes you happy. Maybe you have this specific way of getting information out that makes you stand out. Even though there's a million content creators out there, it's like finding your own voice in that. And I feel like there's an energy here that feels really good. Even if you're not creating content, whatever it is you're creating, I feel like there's expansion that either social media or like the internet, or you hear of things like, through social media channels that kind of help you and they get you excited. Maybe it even brings different people to you, where you see other people that might be doing something similar, or you come together with similar like-minded people. That's where the stimulation comes from. And if anything, that's probably helped you heal from feelings of, like I said, sadness. Maybe there's been regret. I am feeling like some of you have been feeling regretful over not being able to get past a certain point or proceed or get things going. Some of you could even be parents, and that's also an acknowledgement that's coming through. It's just acknowledging the timing of things and the pace of things because of that. I am feeling, you guys may be feeling, I'm not going to say restless. Let's call it excited. Let's call it there's a movement that's happening. I do feel that in your soul, you feel like there are some changes that are on the horizon. And maybe that's even what brought you to this reading. I am feeling, you guys needed rest, and maybe that's what you're currently doing, is resting, taking some time off or some time away. Maybe you had to take a break, and again, spirit is just acknowledging that this was necessary in order for you to be able to move forward, grow, and evolve from this. I am really excited because I am seeing that there's a lot of mental stimulation. I'm pointing here and here because these are both swords cards. There's a lot of mental stimulation that's happening. There's learning and there's action that is going to take place. Some of you are regretful over false starts or things that haven't taken off or haven't grown. If you're having thoughts of, I should have been fill in the blank, or I should have fill in the blank, whatever it is on your journey, you needed it to happen in that way. The time off you had to take, the attention off of this passion, this side hustle, this small business, this whatever it is. Maybe you're beyond a small business and you just work for yourself. Maybe you're a freelancer. Um, Either way, though, your rest and your emotional recovery is absolutely essential and necessary, because you can't build and grow what you want to in the energy that you were in. That goes the same if there's people that have fallen off of your journey. It's sad, it's emotional, but it's also it aligned you to something, because something there was not balanced. I'm trying to see if another card flipped. We have the Justice in reverse that came through, and we have the Queen of Wands as well. Very, very passionate. Okay, those of you who are launching some kind of something, and you do create content, or even if you don't create content, there's a strong message here of people want to see you. People want to see you. You are magnetic. You are literally the thing, like the thing that people look to. I feel like you guys do have an influence over the people around you and trickle that out depending on your following or your where you put your work out there, who you're sharing with. You guys belong in like a lot of you belong in the spotlight. That's not going to be for everyone, but for those of you that already feel it, just know it. You are. This is where you shine. You need to shine as brightly as possible. And part of you getting to your, let's call it shiniest, it did require these things that didn't move forward, the timing, the should haves, the emotional processing, other things in life happening. Like all of this is part of your journey. Some of you could even be sharing, being a little more vulnerable and sharing about what you've been through, and how you're pulling out of that, or how you're pivoting depending on where you're at. Let's go back to those of you that are creative. There's so much expansion to be had from like that fire that you have within, your creativity, your designs, your eye for things. um, I feel like they resonate with people at a level that's going to kind of refine your clientele or refine who's supporting you. There's a very beautiful message about that. I'm getting a lot of Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius energy, as well as Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. We have all signs showing up, but those are the strongest. Libra, or I already said Libra as well. All right. Thank you, Spirit. It's time to let go of the burdens, okay? Some of you just got way too much on your plate. And we're all adults. I get it. But these are the types of things we keep on our plate that aren't serving us. They're just kind of weighing us down. For those of you that this has to do with responsibilities, maybe there's a way to kind of delegate those out. For those of you that this is kind of emotional, let's call it baggage, by releasing that, you kind of allow yourself to feel better. Going back to the creative people, this just feels like that's an outlet to help you heal. It's like letting go of that burden. I just saw the devil card in reverse, letting things go. A lot of us hold ourselves back, and whatever it was that was holding you back or was making you feel hindered or trapped, or maybe even the way you were working. Maybe some of you just overwork yourselves like crazy. And Spirit wants to remind you that just because you work harder, it doesn't mean you're going to see better results. It's better to work smarter. That doesn't mean it's not going to be hard work. It just means maybe the way you've been using your energy, there's a different way to go about it, to where you can get better results by just switching things up. Some of you, this is literally physically tired. Maybe you're physically using a lot of your energy to just try to keep up. And there's a feeling here of there's a better way to do that. If you guys were forced to take a break or to rest, maybe stay home, or there's just something about not going anywhere, just sit still. It's just a timing thing. It's not forever. It's literally, it's a blip in time. Even those of you that it may have been months or that you experience in action, there was just something necessary about that time. It's time to let go of these feelings. For some of you, it's imposter syndrome. And I know it's not as easy as hearing, a lady on the internet say, like, it's time to ditch that. But there is a sense here of when you recognize it and you acknowledge it, you can more easily identify it. What is the story that you keep telling yourself about yourself? How true is that story? Because most of the time, the way we view ourselves, it's not in the most accurate light. That's not forever, it's not like, I'm not saying everything you think you know about yourself is a lie. It's not. It's more like, what is your ego telling you? Because your ego is going to make you feel restless, anxious. It's going to tell you stories about what you should be doing, what you're not doing enough of. And sometimes we just got to pull back and feel into it. Because I promise you, there are different ways of doing things. And if you were over expelling your physical energy, your time, spreading yourself real thin, it just feels like there's a different way to go about things where you will experience more growth. There's a lot of regrets coming through in this reading over things not moving or things not growing. Why the Seeker of Swords, please? Wow. Okay, so you guys have been at this for a while and it has been slow moving. I also want to acknowledge some of you are dealing with trauma from your childhood that comes up around money. It comes up around what your self-worth is. Culturally, I could see it might be even cultural, and I can 100% understand. I'm first generation American, and with that comes a big responsibility. That is a big burden of how a lot of us are raised to feel like, you have to work really, really hard. It's almost like you have to kill yourself with physical labor in order to get by. Um, and it's a recognition that your family, your parents did the best that they could, but they also carried traumas that they couldn't even begin to identify as traumas. And when it comes to you, you guys may be the ones breaking some kind of chain, breaking some kind of cycle in your family. There's a lot of childhood conditioning that's coming through now where this has also been put you at a disadvantage. I'm not saying, take on victim mentality at all. I am not one of those people. Um, we all have it hard in different ways, and one person's difficulty is different than another's. And it doesn't make it better or worse. It just means there's a sense of acknowledging these foundations, acknowledging these things, and being able to work through them, especially when it comes to money wounds or feelings of self-worth or just whatever, fill in the blank with whatever this is from the past, because um, there's a big relief that comes with this acknowledgement. I'm going to go ahead and say that 99% of you that are watching this were not born with a trust fund already in your name. You didn't have this one up. You probably came from, either humble beginnings or, you have your own things, your own advantages and disadvantages. Um, but there is a sense here of recognizing this because these are wounds that in healing them and releasing them, you're releasing yourself from a lot of burdens that don't need to be carried. Maybe it's guilt as well. Maybe you wanted to make your family proud or be the first one to, have this mainstream career or this stable job or being able to hold down a job for X amount of time. And there's guilt about wanting to put time and energy into something else that's more creative and outside the box. Um, but again, that's part of the conditioning as well. Now, some of you are, I don't know if it's like learning, maybe you're taking online classes or some type of workshop, or maybe you're talking to people. It just seems like there's something very slow and steady that you guys are either already working towards or are going to start working towards. It feels really good. I'm going to see what that's about. Okay, it's you guys changing your mind. So they want to talk about, I'm like, they want to talk about your trauma some more. And I'm sorry. But they, meaning our guides, are coming through. And it's time for you to recognize a pain that you've been carrying. It comes from disappointment. Maybe it's fear of disappointing. And it's time for you to stop ignoring that. It wants to be acknowledged. The reason this is coming through so strongly in this reading is because this has been a hang up for you. You guys could get the perfect opportunity tomorrow to rush through with your project, your idea, your side hustle, whatever it is, presenting to a different crowd, doing something publicly, whatever it is. But this is energy that's within you. Again, I kind of feel like it might be imposter syndrome, because maybe you feel like you don't know enough to be in that space, or you don't deserve to be in that space, and that's not true at all. And that's why they want to acknowledge that, because that's really been holding you back from pivoting and from really making a move towards what you already know it would make you happy. There's a big fear here over will I have enough? Will it be enough? And that's again that ego trying to come through, because your abundance is going to come when you put yourself into situations that it's not like starving artist mentality, but it's like following your passion. I'm talking to the person that already feels it in their soul, that there's something here and this keeps calling you. It may have been years that this has been calling you. And it's like you can move through it. And there is a lot of joy to be had here, but it does, what's the word I'm looking for? Require. There we go. Thank you, Spirit. It requires you to shift and pivot. All right. Let's continue. They want to encourage you to take on a learner's mentality as well. It could be learning new things that, you never really put much thought to it. If you kind of already know, I'm talking to the person that's already kind of thought of, if I knew fill in the blank, it would really help me. And here's your sign that it would really help you. It would really help you on your journey, whether it's through education, knowledge, who you know, tapping into your resources. Your ego as well could be keeping you from tapping into your resources. Your resources doesn't have to mean your money. Your resources could be the people that you already know, people that would be more than happy to share information with you or help you or give you ideas. Or maybe it's even encouragement. Meeting like-minded people as well is going to be necessary. All right, let's get some messages for you guys that already are like doing your thing, doing the thing. Let's get some messages as to how to help you grow and expand that. Thank you, Spirit. How can my collective grow and expand their passion, their side hustle? All right, we have the 8 of coins. You got to put in the work is what they're saying. I'm going to split the messages kind of in half, because for some of you you're putting in too much and not seeing enough results because there's a better way to do it. There is a smarter way to work, and it doesn't require you harming your physical vessel, your body, harming me, meaning keeping yourself constantly spread really, really thin. There's little adjustments that can be made along the way that will help you see more growth and results. Okay. We're going to flip that because now we're going to talk about those of you who haven't gotten around to really working, putting in the work or focusing. Maybe there's an issue here with focusing that stems from childhood. Um, I feel that, some of you could be a little bit ADHD. I feel it's so common now. Our attention spans are short enough, but then you add in things like short format videos and constant information coming our way. And there's just a need here to sit down and focus, because you're going to see results based on what you put in with that focus. So put your phone down, or put it away, put yourself on a timer if you need it. Look at these sixes, they keep coming out. So a lot of you guys are experiencing either some kind of burnout, um, whether it's because you have been spreading yourself thin, your life is requiring a lot of you right now, or it's a confidence thing. So we're going to take this up right now since we already addressed it in that way. This is going to be you guys taking charge when you get these strokes of motivation, inspiration. Leave yourself a voice note on your phone. Write it down if you can't get started on it right away. Come back and revisit these thoughts. Anytime you have an idea like this is your guides, your higher self, your angels communicating with you and giving you messages. Sometimes we think, oh, I'll get to it later, or I'll remember later, and you don't. You end up forgetting. So just make sure that you cover yourself in that way. Some of you can still be undecided over what exactly it is you want to do, and that's fine too. Again, write things down or talk to yourself. I talk to myself all day long. And you'd be surprised as to what ends up coming through when you do. I'm a big fan of leaving myself voice memos for later. And I come back and I listen, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I was thinking that on my drive. We have the Seven of Wands in reverse. Actually, I'm going to put this right over here. I don't like that underneath the Eight of Coins. All right. Some of you could even be lacking the commitment to to this. We're calling it a side hustle, but call it whatever it is that you want to do. Okay. We have the Nine of Cups, your wish fulfillment, working on it. You guys are going to see when you put in this level of focus and work, and like stop comparing, stop looking at what other people are doing, and you're in your own lane. It's like you create your own lane. Like there is no competition. Even if someone else has a similar thing that they're doing, they're not you. It's like they're not. It's oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. They just showed me a hand and pointed out the fingerprints. It's like we all have them, but no one is the same. And it's the same for you. The imprint that you're leaving here on the world, in your life, in other people's life, it's going to be different. So comparison is the killer here, the killer of joy. I mean, I feel like comparison is the killer of a lot of things across the board, but just keep that in mind, okay? You guys are encouraged to wish. I'm seeing a wishbone as well. Come on, maybe someone here eats chicken or is eating chicken right now. We have the Knight of Cups. What else? Oh my gosh, another six. Another six. You guys have lots of sixes. I am going to take that in reverse because it feels, some of you could be coming back and revisiting something. Now, this is similar energy to earlier when I was talking about childhood, but now this is talking about nostalgia, the things that you love, the things you hold dear to yourself. I feel like there's a common thread here going, where this is also what's going to help bring people to you that are going to be a part of this journey. You're going to meet different people. You're going to have different experiences, and they're going to resonate with you in ways that you haven't had that with your current circle of people around you. And maybe you have had that with the current circle of people around you. I just feel like it's something here worth revisiting, and it is going to create a community for you. All right. Where the Conqueror of Wands, please. We have the Four of Swords. If you guys are finding yourselves burnt out or unmotivated, just it's okay to rest. You're not going to get your best ideas when you're trying to force them. They're gonna come to you from a place of relaxation. You guys could be used to operating in chaos, or maybe you're I don't know. I don't know what the technical term for it is, but it's like when we're operating from trauma. I guess it's survival mode. And there's a clear message here of it's okay to rest. And if you don't feel it's okay to rest, ask yourself why, and you may realize if you go deep enough that the answer lies from something that you had no control over of. Again, it could be the past, your childhood. They want you to think about what your priorities are, what is important to you. That'll help you make decisions based around those priorities. Now, for some of you, you have other things to take into account, like your family, your kids, your full-time job. It's like, okay, I get it. So have those priorities listed, and then whatever is third, fourth, fifth on the list, like how important are those things and how much are you going to give to them? That could even be like budgeting your time and your money, your energy, whatever it is that you have going on. There's a sense here of having your priorities straight, and that'll help you make a decision, because right now you're trying to show up in all areas of your life at 100%. And I hate to tell you, babes, it's impossible. It is possible, but it's like you can't have it all at the same time. You can't be everywhere at the same time. You can't be all the things at the same time. That's not to discourage you and say you're not keeping up with your life. I think you're doing a great job, but I also think that it's coming at the cost of you. So maybe add yourself to that list of priorities. This is saying you already know. Some of you, I suggest everyone meditate, but some people don't feel comfortable with that. Meditating is just sitting in silence. It's that space when you're about to fall asleep, but you're still aware. That's where you get your best downloads. All right, we're the Seven of Wands in reverse. Very important, though, to prioritize. The Pillar in reverse. So the Pillar is a very beautiful card to get, but when it's in reverse, this is telling me that you need to take care of yourself a little bit better, and not be so hard on yourself. You need to be more graceful with yourself in order to experience the growth. You guys are really, a lot of you may be trying to pour from an empty cup, pour into other people, your passions, your job, your side hustle, and it's not sustainable. Maybe it has been sustainable, but at this current in time, or at this current moment in time, we're trying to push you into the growth, into the next, into the thing. Maybe some of you aren't really sure what that thing is, but this is pointing out that when you're more rested, you bring yourself up on that priority list, you give yourself the things you need, you'll be able to give birth to these ideas and these projects. There's a lot of conflicting thoughts that you guys may be having. Maybe it's even conflicts with people around you, because it just feels like you really, there's a lot of care that you have. You care about a lot of things, and that's really a beautiful thing. But let's figure out how to, like I said, put yourself up on that list so that you can continue to grow. You guys are going to be able to do a lot more than what your current circumstances have you in. It's just going to be some adjustments. I think a lot of the collective has also been doing things the same way on survival mode for a long time. And there's a need here to step back and acknowledge that, to be able to heal from that. You are being encouraged to work on your dreams and to make your wishes come true. Yeah, get started. No ego here. It's almost like learner's mentality. Wow, they want you to manifest. Your thoughts do become your reality. Think about what it is that you want when you're prioritizing, when you're looking at these investments that you're making and how they're growing. What are the things that you're giving to that aren't giving back to you? Those are the things that can go. You guys are going to be faced with the decision of walking away from things. Maybe they're draining your resources as well. And it's time to get clear on that. They keep saying it's time to view things differently in order to move forward. With these small shifts, you guys will experience changes that start to make things feel more hopeful. All right. Thank you, Spirit, for all these messages. All right, let's pull some oracle cards for you guys, and then I'm going to be using my what are they called? The Four Agreements, which are by Don Miguel Ruiz. I hardly ever use them, but I'm excited to bring them out for you guys. So we'll see what messages come through with those. Thank you, Spirit. Can we get some more messages? My candle just went out too. Messages for the collective, please. For their expansion, their growth. Some of you guys have a fear of rejection, or you have been rejected. There are some past issues here that keep coming through that want to be acknowledged. You need to come to peace with that. Your ego has held on to certain things. We all have an ego. And anytime I talk about the ego, it's not in a place to put down or the this or that. No, we're humans living a human experience. We all have a freaking ego. It tells us things that aren't necessarily true sometimes. And there is pain here that's being held on to from a rejection or fear of rejection. We have caution. We have frustration. Lots of feelings that need to be processed, guys. But look at that peace card. Let's see what comes up underneath peace. Go with the flow. Know that you don't have control over everything. Look, some of you are facing some type of change in your life, and it was a disruption, and that's okay. Look at that. Happiness and abundance is on the other side. It's not always going to feel like this. It's not collective. But there's pain here that needs to be acknowledged, and know that you did the best you could. And life is one big learning. It's like what is life, a classroom? It's a fucked up classroom sometimes. It'd be doing life be life in, guys. I'm right there with you. If you followed my journey long enough, you know where I came from, and it was completely different for me. And here I am somehow. All right, what else, please, for the collective? All right, we have visualize your desire. We have, I'm going to put it's a hard no on this relating to all these past feelings. We have cast that spell. I told you guys are manifestors, even if you're not spell casting. That you don't have to spell cast in order to manifest. When you manifest, your constant thoughts, ideas, life is going to start aligning you to become that reality. If you know you're meant for more, you're meant for greater, things are going to start happening. But you got to be ready to say yes. And sometimes it's painful, it's uncomfortable, it can be weird, shedding an old self, shedding old beliefs. Then we have a sign of success. Let me put that right there. I love that for you guys. a sign of success. All right, now let's check out these 4 agreements cards and see what you get. Thank you, Spirit. Can we get 2 more messages, please, for the collective? Thank you. 1 more, please. Thank you. All right, so these are, the first one is always do your best. Practice makes the master. Again, I feel like that's like ego based. Like sometimes we're afraid to take on a beginner's or a learner's mentality. And I love that this came out for you guys. Okay, so let me read the back. By doing your best over and over, you can master the art of transformation. By doing your best, the habits of misusing your word, taking things personally, and making assumptions will become weaker and less frequent with time. All right, I like that. And then we have don't make assumptions, learn to ask questions. It is always better to ask questions than to make assumptions. Have the courage to ask questions until you are as clear as you can be. Once you hear the answer to a question, you won't have to make assumptions because you will know the truth. So maybe some of you have been afraid to kind of seek out information. Maybe you're afraid of asking things because you're like, I should know this, or what are they going to think of me? Again, you guys, these are ego-based things that can be shed. That's also part of that death and transformation. Oops, I just moved those over. All right, I'm going to put this right here. So practice makes the master, and learn to ask questions. All right, friends. Oh no, wait, I said I was going to do a little charm reading. Yeah, let's see what charms you get. I'm like, wait, don't leave me yet. All right, thank you, Spirit. Let's get some charms for the collective. Just a few. All right. We have Nasty. I love that that came out. That is a Prince. That's in reference to Prince. So maybe someone here is a Prince fan. We'll put that right there. We have the Ha Ha Clown pin. This to me, I feel like that's what we're afraid of. We're afraid of how we're going to look. Will we be laughed at? Will our family understand? Will other people, like fill in the blank with other people? We have the Rolling Stones pin. This is vintage. So maybe someone here likes classic rock. I think of Painted Black, also Sympathy for the Devil. That devil card did come through. We have Wu-Tang with the Killer Bee. I love this one because it has the dripping honeycomb. This reminds me of that Empress energy, which in that deck was that pillar of abundance, fertility, giving life to projects. Lots of creativity as well, but it also comes with self-nurturing and self-care, putting yourself, you're important, and putting yourself of importance. We have, if you want my future, forget my past. This is literally your calling. If you want your future, you got to forget certain things that you thought you knew about your past, friends. We'll put that right there. We have My Melody writing in the vintage Impala. You guys have 2 pins referencing the 60s and 70s. So maybe someone here likes some vintage. Maybe you're an old soul. Maybe you were born in the 60s or 70s. Maybe you like classic cars. Maybe your initials, there's an M or an E. And then we have You're the Sun in My Morning, Babe. So words of sweetness. This makes me think of, like I was saying, like being graceful with yourself. Also, this notebook with the clipboard, it reminds me of writing notes. I do feel that some of you should be writing more, or like I said, leaving yourself some type of notes. Maybe this is even words like this, like little post-its on your mirror. Maybe it's time for affirmations as well, if you're into that. They can be very helpful, reminding you of who you are. All right, my collective. Now that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please leave me a comment down below so that I can, so I know what's up. I'm wishing you nothing but the best, and I'm wishing you so much luck on this journey. I believe in you guys. And that's what I have for you. I'll catch you at the next one. Thanks, guys.